Stop scrolling right now, raised hand. Because what I'm about to reveal could completely change how you look at the coins sitting in your pocket. What if I told you that a simple 5-cent coin, something most people ignore every day, could actually be worth $500,000 or even more, money bag? Sounds unbelievable, but it's real. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1943 wartime Jefferson nickel, one of the most unique and misunderstood coins in U.S. history. First introduced during World War II, these special 5-cent coins were made with a unique silver alloy to help conserve nickel for the war effort. Because of their unusual composition and distinctive mint marks, they have become some of the most sought-after Jefferson nickels ever produced. Unlike ordinary nickels, wartime nickels feature a large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse, making them easy to identify and highly collectible. In this video, we're revealing the top 4 most valuable, rare, and expensive 1943 Jefferson wartime nickels ever discovered, coins that serious collectors are willing to pay a fortune to own. We'll break down Fire Rare P, D, and S mint mark varieties, Fire Valuable wartime silver compositions, Fire Rare mint eras and striking varieties, Fire High-grade collector examples worth huge money, Fire coins that look ordinary but could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the crazy part. Some of these valuable nickels look worn, dirty, scratched, or completely normal. But in reality, they could be hiding a life-changing value. So before you spend any old 1943 Jefferson wartime nickel, watch this video until the very end, because your spare change might be hiding a hidden treasure. America, listen very carefully. Somewhere right now, in an old coin jar, forgotten collection, dusty drawer, or family coin album, a rare wartime nickel could be waiting to be discovered. And if you're lucky enough to find one of the rare varieties we are about to reveal, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. Let's get started. Money bag coin number 1. Today, we are uncovering the mystery of the 1943 P. Jefferson wartime silver nickel, a coin that may appear ordinary at first glance, but carries a fascinating connection to World War II, American industry, national sacrifice, and one of the most unusual chapters ever written by the United States Mint. Travel back to 1943. The world was in the middle of World War II. Across America, factories operated day and night producing equipment for the war effort. Strategic metals were desperately needed for military production. Every resource mattered, and the United States government searched for ways to conserve important materials for national defense. One of those important materials was nickel. Nickel was needed for military equipment and armor production, making it too valuable to continue using in the traditional 5-cent coin. As a result, the United States Mint made a historic decision that would forever change the Jefferson nickel during the war years. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel became part of a special wartime composition. Instead of the standard metal mixture used before the war, these nickels were produced using an alloy that included silver. This unusual composition created one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history and gave collectors a wartime treasure unlike any other regular circulation nickel. The coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and carries a large P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. This was historically significant because it marked the first time the Philadelphia Mint used a mint mark on a circulating U.S. coin. That simple letter became one of the most recognizable features of the wartime nickel series. Imagine receiving this coin in change during 1943. American soldiers were serving around the world. Families were supporting the war effort from home. Factories produced military supplies at record levels. Communities organized scrap drives and conservation programs. Every wartime nickel became a small reminder of a nation united behind a common purpose. The front of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, one of the most important figures in American history. Jefferson's portrait symbolized leadership, independence, and the enduring values of the United States. Millions of Americans carried these coins every day without realizing they were holding a piece of wartime history. Turn the coin over and you will find Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. Above the building sits the large P mint mark that immediately distinguishes the wartime nickel from many earlier Jefferson nickels. This feature remains one of the first things collectors look for when examining wartime nickels. What makes the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel so fascinating is its direct connection to World War II. Every coin represents a moment when the nation adapted its coinage to support military needs. It is more than just a nickel. It is a symbol of sacrifice, innovation, and national determination. As millions of these nickels circulated across America, they traveled through grocery stores, train stations, restaurants, military bases, schools, and factories. They passed through countless hands and became part of everyday life during one of the most important periods in world history. Many wartime nickels eventually disappeared into collections because people recognized their unusual appearance and historical significance. Others remained hidden in jars, drawers, and family collections where they waited decades to be rediscovered. The excitement of coin collecting comes from uncovering hidden pieces of history. Somewhere today, an old collection may contain wartime nickels that have not been examined in years. Every collector dreams of making a discovery connected to an important chapter of American history. Even heavily circulated examples tell remarkable stories. Worn surfaces, scratches, and faded details reveal decades of use. Every mark reflects a journey through history and reminds us that these coins once circulated during wartime America. The silver content of wartime nickels adds another layer of fascination. Unlike ordinary Jefferson nickels, these special wartime issues possess a unique historical identity that continues attracting collectors around the world. The year 1943 represented courage, resilience, and determination. Americans faced extraordinary challenges while working together toward victory. Coins produced during this period became lasting reminders of those remarkable years. Many people overlook old nickels because they seem ordinary. Experienced collectors understand that some of the most fascinating stories in numismatics are hidden inside everyday coins. A simple 5-cent piece can preserve memories of world-changing events and connect us directly to another generation. Across America, forgotten collections remain hidden in attics, basements, closets, and storage boxes. Inside those collections may be wartime nickels quietly waiting to be rediscovered by a new generation of collectors and history enthusiasts. Every surviving 1943 P. Jefferson wartime nickel has followed a unique journey through history. Some remained protected in albums. Others circulated extensively before eventually being saved. Regardless of condition, every coin serves as a miniature historical time capsule. The wartime nickel series remains one of the most popular collecting areas in American numismatics. Collectors appreciate the unique silver composition, the historic mint mark, and the connection to World War II. Together, these factors create a powerful combination of history and collectability. The mystery surrounding old coins is part of what makes collecting so exciting. Who carried the coin? What purchases did it help make? What wartime events occurred while it circulated? These questions transform a simple nickel into a fascinating artifact of American history. Today, the 1943 P. Jefferson wartime silver nickel continues attracting attention because of its wartime origins, unique composition, and historic significance. It remains one of the most famous nickels ever produced by the United States Mint. So before spending any old wartime nickel you discover, take a closer look. Find the large P mint mark above Monticello, appreciate its wartime connection, and remember the remarkable history resting in your hand. A forgotten 1943 P. Jefferson wartime silver nickel may represent far more than 5 cents. It may be a surviving witness to one of the most important periods in American history. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, every coin tells a story, every collection hides a mystery, and every discovery begins with curiosity. Sometimes, the most remarkable treasures are not hidden in museums or vaults. Sometimes, they are quietly waiting inside an old coin jar, a family collection, or a forgotten drawer, ready to reveal an unforgettable chapter of American history and the extraordinary story of the wartime silver nickel. Because one old Jefferson nickel hiding in your pocket change, coin jar, dresser drawer, piggy bank, family collection, or forgotten storage box could be connected to one of the most fascinating stories in American coin history. Today we are exploring the mysterious world of the 1962 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, a coin that many people spend without a second thought, but which carries a rich history stretching back through one of the most memorable eras in the United States. Travel back to the year 1962. America was experiencing a period of rapid change. The space age was capturing the imagination of millions. New technologies were transforming daily life. Television sets filled living rooms across the nation, and families were witnessing history unfold before their eyes. During this exciting period, the Jefferson nickel remained one of the hardest-working coins in circulation. The 1962 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During this era, Philadelphia nickels traditionally carried no mint mark, making the absence of a mint mark an important identifying feature. Millions of these coins entered circulation and immediately became part of everyday American commerce. Imagine receiving this nickel in change during 1962. Perhaps it helped pay for a newspaper, a soft drink, a bus ride, or a favorite snack. It may have traveled through busy city streets, quiet farming communities, suburban neighborhoods, and bustling shopping districts. Every transaction added another chapter to the remarkable journey of this small but historic coin. The front of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential figures in American history. Jefferson's portrait had appeared on the nickel since 1938, symbolizing leadership, independence, and the enduring ideals upon which the nation was built. Generations of Americans carried Jefferson nickels every day without realizing the stories these coins would someday tell. Turn the coin over and you will see Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. This elegant design became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The building represents history, architecture, and the legacy of one of America's founding fathers. Although many collectors focus on wartime silver nickels from the 1940s, the 1962 Jefferson nickel holds its own special place in numismatic history. It represents an America standing on the edge of dramatic social, technological, and cultural transformation. Every surviving coin from this year serves as a small time capsule from an unforgettable era. As these nickels circulated across the country, they passed through countless hands. They moved through grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, movie theaters, schools, factories, and local businesses. They quietly witnessed the everyday lives of millions of Americans. Many coins from this era eventually disappeared into jars, drawers, boxes, and collections. Some were intentionally saved by collectors. Others were forgotten for decades before being rediscovered by family members sorting through old belongings. Every rediscovered coin brings new excitement and curiosity. The thrill of coin collecting comes from the possibility that history may still be hiding in plain sight. Somewhere today, an old collection could contain Jefferson nickels that have remained untouched for generations. The excitement of discovery continues to attract collectors of all ages. Even worn examples tell remarkable stories. Scratches, faded details, and smooth surfaces reveal years of circulation. Those marks are reminders of the countless people who may have carried the coin and the places it may have traveled. The early 1960s represented optimism and ambition. America was looking toward the future while remaining connected to its traditions. Coins produced during this period reflect that balance between progress and history. Many people overlook old nickels because they seem common. Experienced collectors know that every coin has a story. A simple nickel can preserve memories of another era and provide a direct connection to people who lived decades ago. Across America, forgotten collections remain hidden inside attics, closets, basements, and storage boxes. Within those collections may be 1962 Jefferson nickels quietly waiting to be rediscovered. The possibility of uncovering history continues to inspire collectors around the world. Every surviving 1962 Jefferson nickel has completed an extraordinary journey through time. Some remained protected inside albums. Others circulated extensively before eventually being saved. Regardless of condition, every coin preserves a piece of American history. The Jefferson nickel series remains one of the most popular and accessible coin collections in the United States. Millions of collectors began their numismatic journey by searching through pocket change and coin jars looking for older Jefferson nickels. The mystery surrounding old coins is part of what makes collecting so rewarding. Who carried the coin? What purchases did it help make? What historical events occurred while it circulated? These questions transform a simple 5-cent coin into a fascinating historical artifact. Today, the 1962 Jefferson nickel continues attracting attention because of its connection to an important era in American history, its classic design, and its place within one of the longest-running coin series ever produced by the United States Mint. So before spending any old Jefferson nickel you discover, take a closer look. Examine the date, appreciate the history, and remember that every coin carries a story. A forgotten 1962 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel may represent far more than 5 cents. It may be a surviving witness to an extraordinary period in American history. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, every coin tells a story, every collection hides a mystery, and every discovery begins with curiosity. Sometimes the most remarkable treasures are not hidden inside museums or bank vaults. Sometimes they are quietly waiting inside an old coin jar, a forgotten drawer, or a family collection, ready to reveal an unforgettable chapter of American history and the enduring legacy of the Jefferson nickel. Now, because one old wartime nickel hiding in your coin jar, family collection, piggy bank, dresser drawer, or forgotten box could be connected to one of the most dramatic chapters in American history. What if I told you that a simple 5-cent coin from 1944 carries a story of war, sacrifice, national determination, and collector fascination that continues to captivate people decades later? It sounds unbelievable, but the 1944 P. Jefferson wartime silver nickel is far more than just pocket change. It is a surviving witness to one of the most important periods ever experienced by the United States. Travel back to 1944. The world was still engulfed in World War II. American soldiers were fighting overseas, military factories were operating around the clock, and families at home were contributing to the war effort in countless ways. Every resource mattered. Every material mattered. Every decision made by the government was influenced by the demands of a global conflict, unlike anything the world had seen before. Among the materials needed for military production was nickel. Nickel was considered strategically important for armor, equipment, and other wartime uses. Because of this, the United States Mint made an extraordinary change to the 5-cent coin. Rather than using the traditional nickel alloy, special wartime nickels were produced using a unique composition that included silver. This decision created one of the most fascinating and historically significant coins in American numismatic history. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel emerged directly from this wartime necessity. Millions of Americans used these coins every day without realizing they were carrying a coin born from one of the greatest military and industrial mobilizations in history. Every wartime nickel represented adaptation, innovation, and the determination of a nation working together toward victory. One of the most distinctive features of the 1944 P nickel is the large P mint mark displayed above Monticello on the reverse side. Today, Collectors instantly recognized this feature. During the wartime years, this large mint mark became an identifying symbol of the special silver nickels. It was also historically important because Philadelphia traditionally did not use mint marks on circulating coins, making this feature especially memorable. Imagine receiving this nickel in change during the summer of 1944. Newspapers were filled with reports from Europe and the Pacific. Families followed wartime news closely. Communities organized support programs for soldiers serving overseas. Every American household felt the effects of the conflict. The small coin resting in someone's hand represented a nation adapting to extraordinary circumstances. The front of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential figures in American history. Jefferson's image had appeared on the nickel since 1938, symbolizing freedom, independence, and democratic ideals. During World War II, those values took on even greater significance as the nation confronted global challenges. Turn the coin over and you will see Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia. Above the building stands the large P mint mark, immediately identifying the coin as a wartime issue. For collectors, that simple letter transforms an ordinary nickel into a fascinating historical artifact. As these coins circulated across America, they traveled through grocery stores, train stations, movie theaters, military bases, factories, diners, and local businesses. They passed through the hands of workers building aircraft, sailors preparing for deployment, students attending school, and families supporting loved ones overseas. Every coin became part of countless personal stories. The year 1944 was one of the most important years of the war. Major military operations were taking place around the world. American industry was producing equipment at an unprecedented scale. The nation remained focused on achieving victory. Coins produced during this period became silent witnesses to these remarkable events. Many wartime nickels survived because people noticed they looked different from ordinary nickels. Others were saved simply because family members wanted to preserve reminders of the war years. Decades later, these coins continue to emerge from collections, drawers, jars, and inherited estates. The excitement of coin collecting often comes from the possibility of discovering a forgotten piece of history. Somewhere today, a collection may contain wartime nickels that have not been examined in years. Collectors know that every old coin deserves a closer look because history often hides in unexpected places. Even heavily circulated examples tell remarkable stories. Worn surfaces reveal years of use. Scratches and faded details reflect decades of handling. Each mark on the coin represents another chapter in its long journey through American history. The special silver content of wartime nickels adds another layer of fascination. Unlike standard Jefferson nickels, these wartime issues stand apart because of their unusual composition and direct connection to World War II. They represent a moment when national priorities reshaped American coinage. Many people overlook old nickels because they appear ordinary. Experienced collectors understand that some of the most fascinating stories in numismatics are hidden inside everyday coins. A simple 5-cent piece can preserve memories of global events, economic changes, and personal experiences spanning generations. The story of the 1944 P. Jefferson wartime nickel is not just a story about metal and design. It is a story about resilience. It is a story about adaptation. It is a story about a nation responding to extraordinary circumstances with determination and ingenuity. Across America, forgotten collections remain hidden in attics, closets, storage boxes, and family safes. Within those collections may be wartime nickels quietly waiting to be rediscovered. The possibility of uncovering a coin connected to one of history's most important periods continues to inspire collectors around the world. Every surviving 1944 P wartime nickel has completed an incredible journey through time. Some remained protected in albums and collections. Others circulated for years before being saved. Regardless of condition, every example serves as a miniature time capsule preserving a piece of American history. Collectors appreciate these coins because they combine history, artistry, and national significance. They represent a period when even the composition of a 5-cent coin was influenced by world events. Few coins tell such a powerful story so effectively. The mystery surrounding old coins remains one of the greatest attractions of numismatics. Who carried the coin? What purchases did it help make? What wartime stories unfolded while it circulated? These questions transform a simple nickel into a fascinating historical artifact. Today, the 1944 Jefferson wartime silver nickel continues attracting attention from collectors because of its World War II connection, unique composition, historic mint mark, and enduring legacy. It remains one of the most iconic wartime coins ever produced by the United States Mint. So before spending any old nickel you discover, take a closer look. Search for the large P mint mark above Monticello. Examine the date carefully. Appreciate the history resting in your hand. A forgotten wartime nickel may represent far more than 5 cents. It may be a surviving witness to one of the most important chapters in American history. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, every coin tells a story, every collection hides a mystery, and every discovery begins with curiosity. Sometimes, the most remarkable treasures are not hidden in museums, government vaults, or famous collections. Sometimes they are quietly waiting inside an old coin jar, a family inheritance, or a forgotten drawer, ready to reveal an unforgettable connection to the past and the extraordinary story of the 1944 Jefferson wartime silver nickel. Because the coin you are about to see looks like an ordinary 5-cent piece, yet it carries a story that stretches across one of the most exciting periods in American history. Hidden inside old coin jars, forgotten collections, dresser drawers, family albums, and dusty storage boxes, the 1961 Jefferson nickel continues to capture the attention of collectors who dream of discovering a remarkable treasure. While headlines may talk about values reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars in extremely rare collector situations, the true fascination of this coin comes from its history, its journey through time, and the mystery surrounding every surviving example. Travel back to 1961. America was entering a new decade filled with optimism, innovation, and change. The nation was looking toward the future. The space race was gaining momentum. New technologies were transforming everyday life. Families gathered around televisions to watch world events unfold. Through all of this excitement, millions of Jefferson nickels quietly moved through the economy, helping Americans buy groceries, newspapers, movie tickets, and everyday necessities. The 1961 Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located on the reverse side of the coin. At the time, nobody could have imagined that decades later collectors would carefully examine these nickels, searching for beautiful examples, unusual characteristics, and pieces connected to American history. For most people in 1961, it was simply another coin in their pocket. Today, it represents a direct connection to a fascinating era. The portrait on the front features Thomas Jefferson, one of the most important figures in American history. Jefferson's influence on the nation remains enormous. His image on the nickel serves as a reminder of the ideals, leadership, and vision that helped shape the United States. Every 1961 nickel carries that historical connection, making it much more than a simple piece of metal. On the reverse side appears Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. The detailed design became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. For generations, Americans carried this design without realizing they were carrying a small piece of national history. The combination of Jefferson and Monticello created one of the most enduring designs ever used on a United States coin. As these nickels entered circulation, they began long journeys across America. Some traveled through major cities filled with busy businesses and crowded streets. Others circulated in small towns where everyone knew one another. They passed through factories, schools, restaurants, gas stations, movie theaters, and local shops. Every transaction added another chapter to the life story of the coin. Imagine a 1961 Jefferson nickel being received in change at a neighborhood store. Perhaps it helped pay for a cold drink on a summer afternoon. Maybe it was used by a student buying lunch or by a family saving money for an important purchase. The coin silently witnessed countless moments in American life, carrying memories from one generation to another. Many coins from the early 1960s eventually disappeared from circulation. Some were placed into collections by hobbyists who recognized their historical significance. Others were forgotten inside drawers and jars where they remained untouched for decades. Today, collectors continue searching through old accumulations, hoping to rediscover these pieces of history. One of the reasons coin collecting remains so exciting is the possibility of discovery. Every old collection may contain hidden treasures. Every inherited box of coins could reveal forgotten pieces that have not been examined in years. The thrill comes from not knowing what might appear next. The early 1960s represented a unique period of American confidence and ambition. Scientific achievements captured public attention. Cultural changes were beginning to reshape society. New opportunities seemed endless. Coins produced during this era became silent witnesses to a nation experiencing rapid transformation. The 1961 Jefferson nickel survived through changing decades, economic shifts, technological revolutions, and social developments. Each surviving example tells a different story. Some remained bright and well-preserved. Others accumulated wear through years of circulation. Regardless of condition, every coin represents a journey through time. Collectors often enjoy imagining where a coin has traveled. Did it cross multiple states? Did it pass through the hands of soldiers, teachers, factory workers, business owners, or students? These questions create a sense of mystery that makes coin collecting so fascinating. Every scratch, mark, and worn detail may represent another chapter in the coin's long history. Unlike wartime nickels from the 1940s, the 1961 Jefferson nickel was produced using the standard nickel composition of its era. Even so, its historical importance remains significant because it represents a snapshot of America at the beginning of a remarkable decade. It serves as a miniature time capsule, preserving a connection to the past. Across the country, forgotten collections continue to wait in attics, closets, storage boxes, and family safes. Within those collections may be beautiful 1961 Jefferson nickels that have not been examined for years. The possibility of uncovering such pieces keeps collectors searching and learning more about American coinage. Many people overlook old nickels because they seem common. Experienced collectors understand that every coin deserves attention. Sometimes the most interesting discoveries are hiding in plain sight. A coin that appears ordinary may carry an extraordinary story stretching back more than half a century. The Jefferson nickel series remains one of the most popular collections in American numismatics because it combines affordability, history, and accessibility. Millions of collectors began their hobby by searching through change looking for older Jefferson nickels. For many, these coins served as the gateway into a lifelong passion for history and collecting. The story of the 1961 Jefferson nickel is ultimately a story about survival. Despite decades of circulation, economic change, and everyday use, many examples still exist today. They continue connecting modern collectors with a fascinating period in American history. Every surviving 1961 Jefferson nickel carries memories from another era. It reminds us that history is not confined to museums and textbooks. Sometimes history fits inside the palm of your hand. Sometimes history hides inside a forgotten coin jar waiting to be rediscovered. Before spending any old nickel you find, take a closer look. Examine the date. Search for the D mint mark. Think about the incredible journey that coin may have taken over the decades. You may be holding a small but meaningful piece of American history. In the world of coin collecting, every coin has a story, every collection hides a mystery, and every discovery begins with curiosity. The 1961 Jefferson nickel continues inspiring collectors because it represents a connection to the past, a symbol of American history, and a reminder that remarkable stories can often be found in the most ordinary places.